Today, I'm going to be traveling all over the island, exploring new zones and taking some of my deepest drops ever in pursuit of some giant fish. Unfortunately, I wasn't the only one out there that wanted fish, and I ended up having to fight off multiple sharks in order to secure my catch. This was easily my craziest day of diving ever, so make sure to keep watching until the end to see what happens. Brand new day of diving, I got 3 friends with me, and I got a good feeling. My spear gun was unloaded, and I started swimming out. This was about 10 feet of water, when all of a sudden this happened. This omilu was a great shooting size, and I panicked to load my gun. I got it loaded on the first notch, tried to line up on it, but I scared it and it took off running. That's why you always gotta load your gun before you swim out. I went down for my first dive of the day and hit the bottom at about 50 feet. Right away, this turtle drifted in front of me in one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen. I feel so comfortable today, and I'm just relaxing on the bottom. I see a big fish out in front of me. I'm not sure if it was an uku or just a big lie. I think it was a lie, but either way, I do some grunts. I try to lure him in, but in the end, I'm not able to quite get him. While I was down there, my buddy Jordan smoked this nice polani, but I'm still waiting for my first fish. I was getting a closer look at it on the float when I saw something circling in the murk.
You guys see that shark? Like 8-footer maybe? Oh, wow. It was coming in for the fish.
After another unsuccessful drop, I met up with my friends and the kui was absolutely loaded. They had the 2 big surgeonfish and 2 big omilu. But we were not the only ones that wanted to eat that fish, and we were gonna have to fight for it.
Beautiful, you guys.
Yeah, they killed it. I saw a reef shark and a tiger.
Oh, tiger, dude? I saw like a Galapagos, so there's lots of sharks.
We were sitting there talking about the sharks, but apparently they didn't want to be left out because they showed up and demanded our attention.
I have a fish on my spear, right here.
Right away we dove down and got ready to defend our catch. And we were certainly right about there being multiple sharks because this was a completely different shark than the one I had seen before. This shark harassed me and my buddy for a little while until we realized a second one had joined up with it, and at that point we decided it was probably better just to get out of there.
I think we should go to them and go in.
Yeah.
If you ever find yourself out in the middle of the ocean with a shark circling you, it's really important that you don't panic. Instead, you want to do what I'm doing right here. You want to put something between you and the shark. In this case, I have my spear gun, and you want to meet it head on. Make eye contact, swim right towards it, and hopefully, like this one here, it'll start swimming in the opposite direction. Even though those sharks were harassing us like crazy, I was not going to let them stop me from taking these invasive roy off of the reef. That one tried to hide from me under the rock, but he did not stand a chance against the roller. While I was braining that roy, my buddy dove down and lined up on something. He took a shot, and I decided to help him out, so I dove down there to retrieve it, and it turned out to be a nice-sized table boss here. These are really good eating. It seems like everyone is getting some action today, because when I looked down, I saw this fish thrashing around on the bottom. I didn't know what it was, so I dove down to inspect it, and it turned out to be a beautiful blue parrotfish. These blue ones are the big mature males, so generally I don't like taking them, but every once in a while it's alright. We started swimming in when I saw something that I've never seen before. This inconspicuous looking fish is actually one of the most dangerous on the reef. This is the nohu, aka the scorpion fish, and they are covered in big venomous spines that will cause extreme pain. This was my first time ever seeing one, and I really did not want the challenge of processing it, so I just said hi and went on my way. Alright, brand new dive. I'm back with my buddy Jordan, and we're swimming out over the shallows to the deep zones. Hopefully we don't suffer any shark harassment today. I'm dropping the power on my gun down to halfway because I see a big roy on the bottom, and I know that I'm going to smoke him, and I don't want my shaft traveling right through him into the rocks to get bent. I line up on him, and that's a wrap. Man, I love it when they just flip over like that. Beautiful stone shot. He's still got a little life in him, but not for long. Really nice way to start the dive. I spotted this omilu from the surface and decided to chase after it. This is a good lesson on what not to do. After losing that omilu, I decided to do what I should have done in the beginning, which is just take a deep breath, stay relaxed, dive down, settle into the bottom, do some grunts, and let him come back to you. But at this point, it was just me and the other fish because that omilu was long gone. We found a deeper zone here. There wasn't a ton of life, but I really liked the structure, so we started working our way along it.
Interesting species of parrotfish, but nothing I wanted. 61.
Nice.
I saw a big fish skimming the shelf, so I went down for another drop. Unfortunately, this is not the kind of big fish that we wanted to see. Even though we're on the other side of the island, somehow these sharks still found us.
Jordan! Do you see that?
I didn't see you go down.
Galapagos.
Oh, really?
Probably 7-8 footer. Just keep hanging out here. If we saw the uku, just watch your back. and make sure you have a spot.
I went down for another drop and did some grunts, always making sure to watch my back. After a long time on the bottom, I was out of breath, and as I started heading up to the surface, that's when the uku appeared. I really need to work on my breath hold because these guys always show up a second too late. I'm still hoping for that uku, so I take a deep breath and start descending for my next dive. And that's when I see it. The shark is back. I hit the bottom, and I'm sure to keep my head on a swivel. I don't see any fish, but I look to my right and I see something that is out of place. I slowly make my way across the reef, and as I get closer, I realize it's an old spear shaft. I'm sure somebody was really bummed to lose this thing. I decide to take it off the reef because it's good to do so, and who knows, maybe if I clean it up, I can save myself a couple of bucks.
Maybe it was yours from the old dive.
This is the old dive he was talking about. A couple months ago, I had shot this huge alua, but it had taken off and completely snapped my line and stole my spear. This could have been that spear, but the chances are pretty low. Despite the distraction, I haven't forgot about that uku, so I breathe up and I start diving down. I'm trying to land on the top of the shelf there in the shallower zone, about 50 feet, when all of a sudden, about halfway down, I spot this uku circling. So I divert my course and start following it. I'm doing some grunts, and eventually he kind of turns broadside to me, and I can almost get the shot, but then he keeps on heading deeper and deeper towards the sand bottom. I keep following and grunting, and then at a certain point I realize I'm deeper than I have ever been, and I still need to get back up to the surface. I start kicking it back up, and this ascent is taking longer than I've ever experienced in my life.
Man, I could not see you at all.
71.
Nice job, man.
Deepest ever.
Nice job.
That last drop was my deepest drop ever at 71 feet, so when I hit the bottom here at 60 feet, it felt like nothing. I do some grunts, and these ta'ape are so beautiful, but unfortunately they are invasive. The grunts start to work, and I see a big shape approaching in the distance. I keep going, but it's a little bit shy. Eventually I realize it's an omilu, and it's coming right towards me. It's getting closer and closer and closer, but I'm out of air, and so I have to go off of the bottom and try to meet it halfway up, but of course that scares it away. If I could have just lasted another 10 seconds, that thing would have been mine. I was feeling really good on this drop, and I felt like the zone had a little bit more life too. I do my grunts, I look around, but so far nothing. And all of a sudden I check behind me, and this guy is just sneaking up on me right off of the shelf, a big uku. This is the closest I have ever been. I shoot, and I think I missed it, and then I see a piece of fin floating on the water column next to me. I'm not sure if that was fin or scales, but either way, my shot hit the fish, but unfortunately, it wasn't a good enough shot. To this day, I have never landed an uku. Me and my buddy decided to start working our way in, and as we went, we kept on taking some drops. On this one, I got pretty close to these moo, but just not close enough. Jordan went down in the same place, but he was actually successful, and he managed to shoot a good size one. As he was coming up, I looked down, and I saw the shark was back, and he was coming straight for the fish. I was not going to let him steal the moo, so I dove down to try to intercept it. You can see the moo thrashing around on the spear there, and I'm not quite sure where the shark went, but I got there just in time. I secured the fish, and I'm really making sure to watch my back right now because I know that thing is close by. The moo had slid off the shaft onto the line, and as we tried to pull it in, it started thrashing around and everything got completely tangled.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Awesome, man.
Did you see the shark come in?
No.
Right when you shot it, dude, it charged in.
Oh, wow.
That's why I dove down so quick.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful Roy. All right.
Is that right?
It's a beautiful moo.
Thank God. Yay!
Let's gut it once we get in.
Okay, so let me just put it on the cooey then.
Maybe I should hold it.
You want to just hold it?
I don't want the shark to eat it.
We were stressing about the shark, but it seemed like this guy didn't really care. We moved into a shallower zone where it would be easier to see the shark and started working at this hopeless tangle. It was slow going, but my buddy worked on it. I tried to help him a little bit, but what I really should have been doing was acting as lookout. Eventually, he got the main knot untangled, and he started to make some progress. The moo drifted down, and we weren't the only ones to see it. The shark charged in and got within a couple feet of my buddy Jordan. Obviously, we were scared, so we got the moo in close and we started working our way back towards shore. I'd never had a shark charge at me like that before. We gave up on trying to undo the knot. Instead, we bundled all the line together and started swimming back towards the shore. As we swam back, the shark turned and started coming straight towards us. I faced forward and met it straight on. and luckily it yielded to me. My buddy Jordan was still swimming behind me with the fish, and I was kind of acting as a guard between him and the shark. You can see I'm dealing with tangled lines as well, and this shark is not giving me a break. I'm both trying to manage my line without getting it tangled around me, while facing the shark and swimming back towards shore at the same time. This is a super difficult situation, and as I get the line tangled around my flipper, the shark charges in straight at me. At this point, I can't swim anymore, so I just hold my ground, make eye contact, and wait for it to turn before untangling my flipper. Me and Jordan are about a quarter mile offshore, and as we swim towards the land, we have to swim on our backs. That way we can turn and face the shark every time it charges at us.
What, Jordan?
I'm really freaking out.
Let's just go right towards that big house.
Yep.
As we swim back, one of the scariest things happened. Jordan got tangled in his shooting line. I stopped to help him, and somehow this clip had hooked onto his line. Thankfully, we were able to get it off before the shark came back. This was such a scary moment. We're out there by ourselves, far from shore, and the water is so murky we have absolutely no idea where the shark went. All we can do is keep our heads on a swivel and constantly check our backs. This shark was super aggressive, and it was absolutely not done with us. But before it could circle around for another charge, my camera battery died. So that was easily my craziest dive ever. And after the camera died, it got even more insane, so I just wanted to take a minute and let you guys know what happened. So when the camera died, me and Jordan were both swimming to shore. He was closer to the shore, I was in the middle, and the shark was out towards the ocean. And so what we would do is we would swim back towards shore on our backs, and then when the shark started charging in, we would have to change directions to face the shark and meet it head on. And every time we would go to meet the shark, it would turn away and veer off from us. At that point, we'd go back to swimming on our back towards the shore, and the shark would go back, circle in again, and we would repeat that whole process. So it ended up being kind of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back the whole way. And at this point, we were still about a quarter mile offshore, and it was slow going. So at one point, the shark circles around and it goes to charge towards us, and I turn towards the shark. I have my gun out in front of me, and the shark's coming straight towards me. And instead of turning away at the last second like the shark normally does, it continues to charge straight towards me. And I have my gun up, and I jam it right into the side of the shark's head, and I push it away firmly. I wasn't trying to hurt it or draw blood or anything, but I was trying to show it that we're dangerous and the shark should not be messing with us. Now I think the shark got the message a little bit, because the next time it came back around, it did turn right before it got to me, but it still got close enough where I could jab it right in the tail, which sent it scurrying away into the murk. So as we got into shallower water, it got murkier and murkier, and it became even harder to see the shark. We'd be swimming on our back, looking over both of our shoulders, just waiting for the shark to appear out of nowhere. And when it did, we would have to turn towards it and meet it directly. At certain times, it felt like we might have lost it, but it would always appear out of the murk in a direction that we weren't expecting. This shark chased us all the way in. You can imagine from that time when the camera died, it took us about 20 or 30 minutes to get back into the shallows. And at a certain point, it was so shallow that the shark's dorsal fin was exposed out of the water and its belly was scraping across the shallow coral reef. So it chased us all the way to the point where it got too shallow for the shark to swim, and at that point it was thrashing around in this shallow water doing circles around us. It did not give up until we got up onto dry land. This was easily the craziest thing I'd ever experienced, so please, if you're diving, absolutely dive with a partner, be safe, and watch out for those sharks. Thank you guys for watching.